I'm lonely.
Rock in 1987 never slowed down. MTV ran all day. FM tossed hair metal next to college guitars, and record bins emptied as fast as they were filled. Stadium shouts, road trip hooks, late night grooves, even a Spanish-language single hit number one. Here are 15 tracks from 1987 that still light up the speakers. Number 1, Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses.
To the jungle, we take it day by day. If you want to jump on the blade.
Slash said the core guitar figure fell out in 3 minutes, one afternoon in a rented Clark Street crash pad, and Axl Rose matched it with memories of being hustled on 41st Street during his first night in New York. The band tracked the song at Rumbo Recorders on August 3, 1986, making only a handful of takes. When Appetite for Destruction stalled at number 182, Geffen begged MTV for help. The network agreed to air the video once at 4 a.m. on September 19, 1987. Viewer phones jammed the switchboard. Daytime rotation followed, and weekly sales of the single jumped from roughly 3,000 to 40,000 inside a month. By Christmas, the album was climbing 20 chart spots a week. Jungle finally peaked at number 7 on the Hot 100 in December 1988, 15 months after release. While Appetite blew past 10 million U.S. copies, a figure now certified at 18 times platinum. Sports arenas grabbed the opening guitar squeal almost overnight. The Minnesota North Stars piped it in for player introductions in 1990, and by the mid-90s, half the NHL and a third of the NFL were doing the same. Rolling Stone later slotted the track at number 467 on its 2021 all-time list, and the official YouTube clip has passed 1 billion streams. Number 2, With or Without You, U2. The Edge built the entire backing on an infinite guitar that let notes hang forever through twin delay pedals, while producer Daniel Lanois looped Larry Mullen's heartbeat kick snare. Bono wrote the lyric in one night at Dane's Moat House, laying out the strain of being both husband and frontman. Island shipped the single on March 9, 1987, 3 days before the Joshua Tree hit stores. It entered the Hot 100 at number 53, reached number 1 4 weeks later, and stayed there 3, U2's first American chart topper. U.S. shops moved about 1.9 million cassettes and 45s in the first year, while Canadian and Irish presses couldn't keep up with demand. The stark black and white video, shot in a single afternoon at Island's Dublin studio for pocket money, won MTV Viewer's Choice and pushed the Joshua Tree to 6 times platinum by Christmas. BMI now lists more than 2 million American radio spins, and Spotify streams past 800 million in 2024, making it U2's most played 1980s track stateside. The band has used it to open and close more than 600 shows, and the simple 4-chord pulse still pulls full arena sing-alongs, nearly 4 decades after that first chart climb. Number 3, I still haven't found what I'm looking for, U2. While the band was chasing desert tones in a Dublin warehouse studio, engineer Flood looped a simple 4-chord pattern on a borrowed Yamaha piano. Larry Mullen added a tom-tom march. Bono hummed a gospel melody, and within an afternoon, the bones of the song were down on tape. Released the 25th of May, 1987, 8 weeks after With or Without You, the single jumped onto the Hot 100 at number 51 and hit number 1 on the 8th of August, giving U2 back-to-back American chart toppers. Island shipped 850,000 US 45s by Labor Day, and the song's one-shot Fremont Street video, filmed for $6,000, ran on MTV every hour the rest of the summer. In the UK, it peaked at number 6, but stayed in the top 40 for 11 weeks, pushing the Joshua Tree past 3 million British sales. A live gospel rewrite with Harlem's New Voices of Freedom became the spine of U2's Rattle and Hum film, and Rolling Stone later ranked the track at number 93 on its 500 Greatest Songs list. Number 4, Here I Go Again, Whitesnake, the 1987 version.
Here I go again on my own.
David Coverdale first cut the song in 1982. but Geffen wanted a punchier take for the band's self-titled 1987 album. Producer Keith Olsen stripped out the Hammond organ, guitarist Adrian Vandenberg re-recorded the solo in one take, and Coverdale swapped the line "like a hobo" for "like a drifter," after U.S. radio reps warned the original might sound like hobo. Issued the 22nd of June 1987, the remix slid onto the Hot 100 at number 51. MTV did the rest, running Marty Callner's video of Tawny Kitaen cartwheeling across two Jaguar hoods in near-hourly rotation. By the 10th of October, the single was number 1 in America, number 1 on Billboard's mainstream rock list, and selling 60,000 copies a week, eventually topping 1 million U.S. units. In Britain, where Whitesnake had always been heavier than hair metal, the track still cracked number 9 and pulled the band onto Top of the Pops for the first time. The parent album went on to sell 8 times platinum in the States, and Here I Go Again became so tied to late-night power ballad blocks that Coverdale once joked he could retire off the word drifter alone. Number 5, Need You Tonight, INXS.
I'm lonely.
Andrew Ferris came up with the groove while waiting for a taxi outside Sydney's Manly Wharf. He told the driver to hold on, ran back upstairs, and taped the full beat and guitar line in about an hour. The band cut the song at Rhinoceros Studios in January 1987, layering John Ferris's drum loop and Michael Hutchiss's whispered vocal in a single evening. Atlantic pushed the single to U.S. radio on the 24th of September. Within 10 weeks, it had climbed from local New England spins to coast-to-coast airplay, hitting number 1 on the Hot 100 for the week of January 9th, 1988. MTV spun Richard Lowenstein's quick-cut black and white video almost hourly, and the clip went on to win Video of the Year at the 1988 VMAs, the first time an Australian act took the top prize. By spring, the track had moved more than 1 million U.S. cassettes and 45s, while parent album Kick hit 6 times platinum. Need You Tonight also topped Billboard's mainstream rock list for 7 straight weeks and reached number 2 in the UK, giving INXS the biggest global hit ever by an Aussie rock band at that point.
Hallucinate to segregate, mediate, alleviate.
Number 6, The One I Love, REM.
This one goes out to the one I love.
Peter Buck's stark 3-chord guitar line anchored a tune the band used as a set opener for 2 years before hitting the studio in April 1987. IRS Records released the single on the 24th of August, and college stations added it the same day. Within a month, commercial rock outlets in Boston, Atlanta, and Los Angeles were spinning it every hour. The song entered the Hot 100 at number 84 on the 12th of September, cracked the top 40 4 weeks later, and peaked at number 9 on the 23rd of January 1988. REM's first U.S. top 10. Many listeners took the chorus as a love pledge, missing the bite of the follow-up line, a simple prop to occupy my time. Wedding DJs still field requests for it. The Robert Longo-directed video caught heavy play on MTV's 120 Minutes, helping drive the album Document to number 10 on Billboard and its first platinum plaque. In the UK, the single stalled at number 55 in 1987, but climbed to number 17 on a 1991 reissue tied to the band's Warner move, proving a track cut on a modest Athens, Georgia budget could outlast its own first chart run.
This one goes out to the one I love.
Number 7, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Aerosmith. Steven Tyler got the title after spotting Vince Neil's long blonde hair across a club room and blurting, "That dude looks like a lady." Writer for hire Desmond Child shaped the hook the next day at Little Mountain Studios in Vancouver, where Aerosmith were cutting their comeback album, Permanent Vacation. The track's Wall of Brass came from the Uptown Horns in a single evening. Producer Bruce Fairburn mixed it hot so DJs would have no choice but to turn heads. Geffen shipped the single to U.S. radio on the 22nd of August, 1987. Within 3 weeks, it was the most added song on AOR playlists, jumped to number 1 on Billboard's mainstream rock chart, and peaked at number 14 on the Hot 100 right before Thanksgiving. Marty Callner's high-energy video, Tyler spinning his mic stand like a baton, hit MTV in heavy rotation the same day as Michael Jackson's Bad premiere, and still cracked the network's top 5 for 9 weeks. The single pushed Permanent Vacation to 5 times platinum U.S. sales and marked Aerosmith's full return after nearly a decade of drug-fogged decline. 6 years later, Dude wrote the opening scene of Mrs. Doubtfire and sent the song back onto SoundScan's singles list. Proving the chorus had legs far beyond its 1987 chart run. Number 8, Just Like Heaven, The Cure.
Show me how you do that trick, the one that makes.
Robert Smith wrote the main guitar line in a rented holiday flat on England's southern coast, then drove to West London's Marcus studio and cut a rough demo in one night. The finished version, recorded at Studio Miraval in Provence, opens with Boris Williams' simple floor tom pulse. Smith called it the best pop song we've ever done. Fiction released the single in the UK on the 5th of October 1987, where it reached number 29 despite little daytime radio. Elektra rolled it out in the US the same week college stations were still chewing on the earlier single, Catch. Alternative playlists flipped immediately, and by June 1988, Just Like Heaven had climbed to number 40 on the Hot 100. The Cure's first American Top 40, and the track that cracked open Top 40 doors for darker British guitar bands. The Seaside video, shot on the chalk cliffs at Beachy Head, cost under £15,000 and ran non-stop on MTV's 120 Minutes all winter. U.S. single sales cleared 500,000, helping the double album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me cross the platinum line. Rolling Stone later placed the song at number 198 on its 500 Greatest list, and a 1989 cover by Dinosaur Jr. sent it back onto alternative radio, proof that a tune built around one chiming chord pattern could nudge goth pop into the American mainstream. Number 9, Girls, 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 Motley Crue. Nikki Sixx wrote the lyric on a napkin at Body Shop, one of the Sunset strip clubs name-checked in the song, and brought the idea to rehearsal the next day. The band cut the track at Conway Studios in March 1987 with producer Tom Werman, mixing Motorcycle Idol loops into the intro so loud they rattled the console meters. Elektra rushed the single to U.S. radio on the 11th of May. Rock stations jumped first, and by late June it had climbed to number 12 on the Hot 100. Crue's highest peak to that point. MTV banned the original clip for showing real dancers from LA's Seventh Veil. A quick re-edit with tighter camera work made daytime rotation, and the controversy only boosted sales. The parent LP, also titled Girls, 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 landed at number 2 on the Billboard 200, held back by Whitney Houston, and went quadruple platinum in a year. Strip club owners reported a spike in patrons asking for the song, and the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce logged a 20% uptick in weekend traffic on Sunset the month the single hit its chart peak. Number 10, Animal, Def Leppard. The first version was tracked in February 1984 at Wizalord Studios, but producer Mutt Lange parked the tape, saying it sounded like a good demo. 2.5 years, 4 studios, and hundreds of vocal takes later, the final mix came in Dublin with Joe Elliott stacking 24 tracks of harmonies on the chorus. Mercury released Animal in the UK on the 20th of July 1987. It shot to number 6, the band's first British top 10. US rock stations added it off the import, and when the domestic single dropped on the 17th of August, it entered the Hot 100 at number 79, peaking at number 19 in October while topping the mainstream rock list for 2 weeks. The color-saturated Circus video logged heavy MTV play and helped push Hysteria from a lukewarm debut at number 24 to a 9 times platinum beast by 1990. The single's success was sweeter because drummer Rick Allen, who lost his left arm in a 1984 crash, recorded the track on his newly built electronic acoustic hybrid kit, silencing critics who said the band was finished. Number 11, La Bamba from Los Lobos. East LA bar band Los Lobos was hired to cut Richie Valens songs for the biopic La Bamba. Producer-guitarist Steve Berlin suggested they try a modern, full-band take instead of the film's note-for-note backing track job. The group recorded the song at Capitol Studios in one night. Conrad Lozano's electric bass over a vintage Harana rhythm. David Hidalgo's loping Strat lead, all lyrics left in Spanish. Warner shipped the single on the 24th of June, 1987, 1 month before the movie opened. U.S. stations that had never spun a Spanish-language rock record added it in daytime. On the 29th of August, it replaced U2's I Still Haven't Found at number 1 on the Hot 100, the first all-Spanish song ever to top the American chart. It stayed there 3 weeks, crossed the Atlantic to hit number 1 in the UK, Canada, and 9 other countries, and drove soundtrack sales past 2 million U.S. copies. MTV's clip, cut from Lou Diamond Phillips' performance scenes, ran once an hour. Jukebox firm AMI reported La Bamba as its most played track of 1987, beating every English-language single that year. The sudden spotlight pulled Los Lobos from 500-seat clubs to a sold-out U.S. tour ending at Madison Square Garden in December. Number 12, Wanted Dead or Alive, Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi sketched the lyric on the band bus rolling through Cheyenne, then demoed it with Richie Sambora on a borrowed Ovation double neck. They cut the final take at Little Mountain Sound in Vancouver in July of 1986. No overdubs beyond the slide solo. Mercury tucked the track at slot 3 on Slippery When Wet, but AOR stations started spinning album cuts, and fan calls pushed Wanted ahead of every planned single. The label rushed a 45 to retailers on the 2nd of March 1987. The grainy black and white video, 24 hours of road footage boiled down to 4 minutes, hit MTV the same day and never left heavy rotation. The single entered the Hot 100 at number 54, cracked the top 10 in 6 weeks, and peaked at number 7 on the 20th of June. It also topped Billboard's album rock list, helping push Slippery from triple to 7 times platinum by Christmas, and turning the group's Cowboy on the Highway image into a dorm room poster staple. A year later, Wanted became the first hard rock song performed on MTV's newly launched Unplugged series, selling an extra 200,000 catalog singles. Long after 1987 ended, the track found a second life. ESPN used it for Monday Night Football bumpers. Discovery's Deadliest Catch built its flagship promo around the chorus, and every Bon Jovi show since 1987 pauses for the crowd to finish the final "I'm a Cowboy" line without any help from the stage. Number 13, Sign of the Times, Prince. Prince cut the track alone in his Paisley Park home studio, building everything on a Fairlight CMI sampler and leaving the mix almost bone dry to let the words stand out. Warner issued the single on the 3rd of February, 1987, 6 weeks before the album. U.S. radio jumped on it despite the bleak lines about AIDS, crack, and the Challenger explosion. The song hit number 3 on the Hot 100, number 1 on Billboard's R&B chart, and earned Prince his 7th Gold 45. The one-take video, Prince in silhouette under a neon pink sign logo, premiered on MTV Prime and stayed in heavy rotation through spring. In the UK, it reached number 10, and critics at NME voted it Single of the Year. Rolling Stone later ranked it the best single of 1987, and in 2021, placed it at number 46 on its all-time list. Number 14, True Faith, New Order. The band wrote True Faith in a week at Liverpool's Britannia Row, then flew to London to refine it with producer Stephen Hague, who added the stuttering "I Feel So Extraordinary" hook and stacked 6 keyboards for the chorus rise. Factory Records released the single on the 20th of July 1987 in the UK and 2 weeks later in the States. It climbed to number 4 on the British chart, New Order's highest UK slot to that point, and pushed parent compilation Substance to double platinum at home. In the US, the song cracked number 32 on the Hot 100, but owned dance radio, topping Billboard's Dance Club list for 2 weeks and becoming the first New Order track to break daytime playlists in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Boston. Felipe de Coufflet's surreal mime dance video won Best Breakthrough at the 1988 VMAs and kept the song on MTV for 8 straight months, driving American sales of the 12-inch past 250,000, huge for an import-leaning band that still refused to lip-sync on television. Number 15, Crazy Crazy Nights by Kiss. Kiss recorded the anthem at London's Townhouse Studios in May 1987 with producer Ron Nevison layering 16 tracks of gang vocals on the Shout Along chorus. Mercury led with Europe, shipping the single on the 18th of August. It shot to number 4 on the UK chart, Kiss's best British showing ever, and hit number 1 in Norway. US Top 40 programmers were slower, but MTV's repeat play of Paul Stanley's flag-waving arena video nudged the track to number 65 on the Hot 100 and into the top 40 on Billboard's album rock list. The song opened every date on the 130 show Crazy Nights World Tour, and its chant became a staple at U.S. hockey games, first picked up by the New York Rangers organist in 1989. While it never cracked the American Top 40, Crazy Crazy Nights pulled the Crazy Nights LP to platinum status and proved Kiss could still score a crowd-rallying anthem a full decade after Rock and Roll All Night. So that was the class of '87. Which track still hits you hardest? Drop it in the comments. Hit subscribe for the next spin through rock history, and we'll cue up the next deep cut.